Interview commences on 11 a.m. on February 5th, 2018. Can you please begin by stating your full name and how you are related to the Chris York case?
My name is Alice Lambe. My sister was really close friends with Chris before you know.
Could you tell me how close your sister was to Chris?
Yeah, she really loved him. I've never seen someone so obsessed with another person. It was really sweet, actually. She was really respectable of Sophia's death, so she never really pushed it too hard. She was nice like that.
Did Rachel spend much time alone with Chris?
They spent as much time as two really good friends would spend together. She'd always talk about hanging out with him for days before it happened, and then again for days after it happened. She really valued him as a person.
So where were you on January 30th?
I was at home having a movie night with my parents. Typical Sunday night, really.
Did you have any contact with Rachel at all that night?
Yeah, she phoned me at about 6 p.m, about halfway through the movie.
What did the two of you talk about?
She said she wanted to make a move on Chris, romantically, obviously. She'd had a fair bit to drink, and I told her it was probably a bad idea, but she kind of insisted. I gave her a few pointers, told her to drink some water, told her to make sure Katie got her home safe.
Why would Katie need reminding to take Rachel home safely?
Oh, the two of them can get into all sorts of when they're together. Usually just harmless fun, but if I'm honest, I don't think Katie's that good of an influence on her. And Rachel is very easy to influence when she's been drinking.
Did Rachel seem out of character at all when she was speaking to you?
No, other than being drunk, of course. She slurs her words when she's been drinking. It's kind of funny watching Mum and Dad pretend they can't tell.
Where did Rachel say she was when she called you?
I think she said she was outside somewhere. I don't really remember for sure. I could definitely hear some traffic though, so I think she'd probably gone outside for some air.
I'm sorry to ask, but is there any history of substance abuse or mental illness in your family?
No, not really. My auntie Una suffered from postpartum depression after her first child, but that's all I can think of.
Has Rachel ever had any sort of drinking problems?
Oh, no, God, no. She knows her limits and tends to stick to them. The first time she drank, she got horrendously ill, so she's been really careful about it since.
Can you think of any reason why Rachel would have drunk so much on that night?
She's quite impressionable, so if someone buys her a drink, she tends to feel obliged to drink it. Everyone knows that though, so unless someone was taking advantage of her, then I can't see why she'd drink that much. She wouldn't even drink that much to ask out Chris. They've drunk together before and she's never been this bad.
Can you think of anyone who might have been willing to take advantage of your sister's impressionable nature?
Honestly, I don't know. I could blame either Luke or Katie, but that wouldn't narrow it down for you.
Is there any reason you say this?
Well, Luke has a crush on her, that much is obvious. He has a bit of a tendency to always get what he wants, even if it's not a very good way of going about things. I guess that's what having 3 super successful older brothers does to you. As for Katie, well, like I said, she's a bit of a ringleader type, if you get what I mean. She likes the attention and likes to drag as many people into her pranks and videos as possible. She's the reason Rachel started a whole channel. Katie just wanted another subscriber.
Sounds like you don't hold her in a very high opinion.
No, not really. I mean, she's Rachel's best friend, sure, but she's a really terrible influence and has really changed my little sister. It's difficult being the older sibling, especially when you really care what happens to your younger sibling. I just wanted to be surrounded by perfect people, but I guess that's always going to be impossible. At the very least, I want to make sure she stays safe. Rachel's always been a good girl. She's never hurt anyone. She was always the type to ignore her own pain in order to help other people.
Is that your true opinion of Rachel?
It really is. God's honest truth.
Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you for your time, Miss Lamb.